Okay, so we're getting ready for the big day to fire her up. We're putting engine oil in. We're using rye oil, vintage SAE 40 oil, which is quite a thick oil. And I do actually really like rye oil. It's a very good oil. It works in all of my agricultural vehicles. So basically just tip the oil in there. Basically it'll take roughly 2.5 of one of them, so 2 of them and half of the other, and then we've got a little bit of spare for top up. So let me top that out with some oil. Okay, so you need to put a little bit of engine oil in here up to this mark here. So nothing special, just a little bit of engine oil, just keep it all the same. So you put that in there, and that's for the air filter. So now I'm going to do the back end. On the back end, you unscrew this basically, and that comes off nice and shiny, as you can see. And the level is just there. It says low, so there it's quite low, so obviously that's where you put it in. So you basically top that up in there to the level. On this one, on the back end, I'm using again rye oil because I like the oil, and I'm using the SAE 140, which is a gear oil. Really good quality oil. I do like rye oil and their products, so I use it in all of my tractors. So that's that. So yeah, let's just drop that. Now it takes 3.5 of these, 3.25 of these. But again, you know, always order 4, because then you've got some for spare and later on if there's anything. So there we are. Okay, so we've basically put the spark plugs in. These are new ones I ordered. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% happy with them because they're not like the genuine old school big fat chunky spark plugs. So you know, these will do for now, and I will try and look for some old ones but new if possible. We'll see, because I just like things really spot on. Well, obviously, as you know, the tank is having some work done to the tank. I'm in process of deciding what I'm going to do with that. I'm probably going to cut a hole in it and basically take all the inside out, clean it out, weld it all up and make it like new again. But that's another story. So that's all done. She's all filled up with water. So I use the hose pipe to fill it up with water, so that's all done. So as a temporary method, what we're going to do is we're basically just going to put this onto the old school fairy liquid bottle with a little bit of fuel in it, hang it up. I've got to bolt the exhaust on. That's the next job, so the exhaust's got to go on, and then we'll start cranking her and seeing whether we can get her running. I know it's 5 cranks first, and then obviously hopefully she'll fire up, but I'm sure it'll be a few more than 5 cranks because poor little girl hasn't been started for, well, I think around sort of, see, last time she was started, from what I was told, was in the 60s. So I think it's been stood for since the 60s. So yeah, that's kind of the story of that. But there we go, let's see what happens. Right, okay, we've found a little problem. As I started winding her over, we discovered that this little pipe here, this one, has got a really small pin. Where is it? There we are. It's got a really small pinhole, and unfortunately it was something that when being cleaned up we never see. We could never work that out. We never knew it was there. You don't know sometimes until you actually put these things back together again. You'll actually find that there's a really small airline crack which is leaking fuel. So it's basically leaking fuel everywhere. So I'm going to need to clean that all up again and sort it out. So it's just, you know, these things happen. So, you know, I'm not going to do you a video to show you that I put things together and everything's perfect, because things do happen, you know, in your restorations, especially when you're dealing with old stuff. you know, so it's just a little pipe, not a problem. We can order a new one, so, you know, I can repair it, but I think be safer than sorry. I'll just order a new one, and we'll deal with that, and we'll sort that out. Apart from that, I'll clean this all up again, because obviously we had a little bit of an issue with the fuel pissing out. So, but you know, this is all nicely sealed nicely, but what I'll do is I'll take this all off and we'll clean it all up again and reseal it again, even though this is all sealed nicely. It's not warped or nothing. It's purely just, as I was turning it over, it was just literally squirting out. So there we are. So that's why I stopped immediately. So we'll get there. So it's just one of these things. I'll order a new one today, and be with us in the next couple of days. And we'll just continue with the video and have it started. Whoa, that's the first fire. Oh my god, that's brilliant. After all them years, she finally fired. Right, just to wrap this video up completely, as you can see, we finally got her running. There's a lot of adjustments we've got to do, a little bit of tweaking on this for starters, so it shuts off correctly. It's getting the mixture right as well, and we're along with the choke and things. So, you know, it's all about, we've got to play with her to get her running correctly, you know, spot on. But truthfully, she's running very well, considering, you know, she's been sat out in a field for God knows how long, and then she's been stripped all in half, taken apart in pieces, and then all put back together again. A bit like having a head transplant, I guess. You're never right straight away. But, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. She runs. That's the main thing, you know. Can you imagine if it didn't run, it would have been disastrous. But she runs. It's all good. That's just because we've drained it and put some antifreeze in, so that's why that tray's there. So I've had her running. It's probably now, she's been running, I'd say, for a good half an hour, maybe a bit longer, 45 minutes. We managed to get the fuel, so she weren't drinking fuel so quick, because she was really like gulping it in. But again, you know, once you play around the mixtures and get it idling right, it's something that we are going to have to play with next. However, she's now ready to have the head tightened down, so it's important to tighten the head bolts down now, because she's been quite warm. She's quite nice and warm. So let's tighten head bolts down, do a few little tinkering little bits, is the plan. Obviously I've got to sort this out and paint this all back up and do something a bit different with that, a different type of paint. But you know, she's there, she's getting there. So obviously the next video will be kind of a real, you know, it's going to take a little bit of time because I'm still working on a tank, and I've got other little things that I'm doing. So the next video on this tractor will be, you know, more or less with the tank on it and other stuff being painted. So and probably in that video I'll have it running correctly, running absolutely perfect. So that's the plan. But yeah, you know, she's getting there. She's running, so that's the most important thing. And I've managed to squeeze her into this shed, because this is obviously a much better shed. I don't really come in here much, so it's kind of like, you know, it's a quiet shed, so it's out of the way, covered up and wrapped up, kept warm. There is central heating in here, so it's a heated shed as well, so it's pretty cool. There's quite a few other little toys in here as well. So, but yeah, we're getting there. Obviously now I can take them off, can't I can take the stickers off for these now, and I can also cut these down and put these in because they're a little bit long. I left them long on purpose in case there were a few ran the wrong way. You know, always be safer than sorry, but obviously now I can cut them and shorten them up and make them fit correctly. So we're getting there, guys.